at Matthew chapter 6. We are going to be looking at um, the book of Luke chapter 11. And in in Luke chapter 11, verse 1, the Bible was telling us on the matter of prayer. The Bible says that when Jesus was praying in a certain place, and when Jesus finished praying, one of his disciples said to him, Lord, teach us to pray just as John taught his disciples to pray. And when Jesus would begin to teach them to pray, Jesus started by saying, He said to them, whenever you pray, say, Father. In future lessons, I'm going to take every of the studies one by one, and I will trust God to bring out the beauty of prayer from this analysis. However, the thing I want to drag out of here very quickly this morning is what I call the point of prayer. The point of prayer. And it's the fact that Jesus, whether in the book of Matthew or in the book of Luke, said that whenever you want to pray, you start by saying, Our Father. There are three things that this statement Father reveals. Number one is the fact that prayer, number one, is for sons. It's important to know that when Jesus began to teach his disciples how to pray, Jesus began by saying, Say, Father. This is a relationship matter. It is the fact that there is now a relationship between who they are praying to and the person that actually is doing the prayer. So that we really don't have a point in understanding prayer. We won't be able to pray outside of this relationship. The reason is because in the mechanics of prayer, God always accompanies the believer to be able to pray. And for God to make that accompaniment, the person has to come in a relationship with Him. This does not mean that somebody that is not a believer cannot pray. This basically just means that whatever the person is doing, the person might not be able to understand or to touch or tap into the beauty and the goal of what prayer was meant to achieve. So this is the very first thing that is important for us to know, that prayer is relationship based. It's a relationship between father and son. So that if you do not have a relationship with God, it is unfortunate that you might not be able to go very far with this training of prayer like we have talked about. The second thing is important to know from the word father is the fact that whoever this person Jesus was talking about was a real person. Again, in future series, I will address this in details. But for now, we need to understand that when Jesus said, when you want to pray, say, Father, Jesus was talking about a person that is real. Is first a person, number two, he is real. There is really a mind mentality that goes on in our Christian experience. Is the fact that it's normal to feel like something that we cannot see. Okay, it's normal to feel like something that we cannot see is it's tantamount to a meaning that it doesn't exist. However, that is really not the case. For example, we do not see the wind, but the mere fact I said that wind is blowing doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the fact that we cannot see it doesn't mean that the wind doesn't exist, because even though we can't see it, we can feel its effect. We do not see gravity, but we know that gravity does exist. In the same reality, we do not see God the Father because God is a spirit being, like the Bible has said it. But that doesn't negate the fact that God is a real person. If you understand what I'm saying, it affects the way you talk to Him. When you go to your place of prayer and you stay before God and you are talking, knowing that the person you are talking to is real, it really does have a lot of advantage. Now, again, the future series we do this thing. I only want to talk about the point of prayer, which is the third main emphasis. The point of prayer is the third idea we can draft out of the word Father. The point of prayer is what is called relationship. It is important to understand because this is the main point that today's podcast is all about. The point of prayer is relationship. Now, this is the reason I said that is this. It's possible that you are grown up in a background where there's a lot of mode in which prayer comes. And possibly, if you do not feel like maybe you are in this clapping mode where you can shout and punch the devil here or there, or if you do not feel like you are in this rugged, tonguing, speaking in tongues mode, most of the time people really do not think that they are already praying. And I'm not trying to downplay any of those realities because there are actually possibilities, times where we come to, and either of these things really is necessary. But the point that is being created here is the fact that at the very basics of prayer, while every other thing can come on top of prayer, many other experiences and expressions can be added to your expression in prayer. At the very basic of the reality of prayer is relationship. Is the fact that you are coming in prayer to talk to your father. Again, I will expound on talking to your father in the future. But for now, what is the point of prayer? Why do I go to pray? Why do I go to seek the face of God? Why do I go to meet the person that I know benefits, sustains me? The basic idea is because of relationship. So my father is there. I am here. I've not heard from daddy today. I want to hear from him. I've not talked to daddy today. I want to talk to him. When you understand the point of this, that the point of prayer is relationship, then you will now understand why praying, talking to God for long is a stronger way to have a stronger relationship with God. Because the basic idea of how every of these things works is like an earthly relationship where conversation is missing, where communion is missing. Every of these things has a very much down effect. Having said that, having said every of these things, we need to understand once again that when you are entering the place of prayer, you are going to talk. I just want to talk to God. Can that be something at the back of your mind? It's not because you really want, you just know that it is necessary. I need to talk to my dad today. I need to hear from my dad today. And so and so with every of these things I've said so far, it is very important knowing that I've struck the point of prayer. The point of prayer is having a relationship with God. So coming out to this particular session, I don't know if wherever you are, you might have been watching this now, you might be watching this later. In the next 1 minute, having understood first of all that the person you are talking to is real, is there, we're going to establish that in the future. After that, second of all, that the person you are talking to is a person that you have a relationship with, and the goal of this talk is because of a relationship. I will do something for a minute, and in a minute, I want you to close your eyes where you are, like I will, where I am rather, and let's just find a way to talk to God. This is the basic thing I want us to do for now. Is the fact that okay, I'm talking to God here because He's my father and I need to tell him something. But what comes to your mind to tell him is important to tell him. So I will say what comes to my mind to tell him as my father. You are to see what comes to your mind to tell him as your father. And whatever other expression comes out of that prayer as we go on is because it is first on the ground that I just want to talk to God. You must have that as I just need to hear, talk to my father. I want to talk. I want to talk. I want to talk. Or we deal with what to say in the future. But for now, whatever you can catch up saying, can you just quickly let us say it just in 1 minute? And Jesus, I really love you. Jesus, we really thank you. Can you find words for Jesus this morning? Can you find things to I just want to talk to God. And it can be God, I don't even know what to say. I'm talking to him. But well, I know that you are great, and I know that you are good, and I know that you are kind, and I know that you are loving. For great is your mercy towards me, your loving kindness towards me, your tender mercies towards me. Jesus, I thank you for myself. I thank you for mommy. You really know that I love you. I really don't have what to say, but I just feel like talking to you. And I know coming to talk to you doesn't depend really on the point. It depends on the fact that I need to be here. I worship you. I love you. I thank you for the cross. I thank you for Monday morning. I thank you for everything. You are not one of many important things to me. You are everything. You are everything. You are beautiful. You are God. You are great. You are loving. You are benign. Thank you richly. Thank you very much. Thank you sovereignly. Thank you very much. I really love you. I really thank you. So this is how we do it. If you are with me still at this point, I will just need you to, with those little words, you will you will understand eventually that God is going to begin to create room for himself within your heart. It always starts when you understand that the point of prayer is relationship. I just want to talk to you. Can you always enter your prayer like that? I just want to talk to you. All right, so that is it for today. Jesus, we thank you for this morning and everybody that was part of this. I ask you, Lord, that you make this reality, this stuff a reality in their spirit, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Glory be to your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Yeah, so that is it for this morning. This is Founding Great Network. We are going to continue this um, as the week goes on. So I'm going to have to bear with me for the meantime. I'm a very busy man, and so I might not be able to take out time to record and then write and then edit. So I'll coming like this again and again to life to leave the content there. Be a part of it. Share it to your friends. Tell people that we have continued our prayer series. As time goes on, to be more rich and it to be more lively that this. We're going to go into the in-depth of the teaching. But for now, we are still taking time to do the theory. Eventually, we get into the practical. My name is Ajayi Sorry Samuel. Thank you very much for people I'm seeing online currently and every other person that will watch. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.